What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to a Fortnight on the Isle, my bi-weekly update series where we talk about everything that's going on in my life and my reading and all of the fancy hoo-ha. First things first, in this episode, I will clarify that I'm actually recording this a bit earlier than normal, so some things aren't going to be as accurate as, say, they would normally be in my Fortnight on the Isle videos, mostly because of the work schedule stuff that I've talked about in the last update and probably plenty of other videos in the past few weeks as well. Normally I record these on Friday night, upload them, or edit and upload them on Saturday so that they publish on Sunday. This time I'm recording it on Friday morning because of the way that my work schedule is going this weekend. I wasn't going to be able to get this video as well as the 3 monthly timed videos, you know, like the wrap up and reading wrap up and then the book haul and stuff that I was going to normally record tomorrow. Wasn't going to be able to do that, so I have switched the schedule around a little bit. At this point in time, it's basically just that I've been flying by the seat of my pants, reading whenever I can read, and that's going to be how it is for this fortnight and likely for the next fortnight after that. I don't have school over the next 2 weeks because I did a lot of school ahead of time back a week or two ago, but there is still a lot going on. And if you saw by the thumbnail, yeah, I did do a lot of reading. So let's go ahead and just jump into that part of the last couple weeks. I did mention in the last update that I was going to look into reading a short and quick and easy book to, you know, sort of break up the monotony of reading The Count of Monte Cristo every single day. And I did do that over the 2 days following that video. I did read Gregor the Overlander, the first book in the Underland Chronicles by Suzanne Collins. Still a joy to read. I think it turned out being a little bit more YA than I was, or a little bit more middle grade than I was expecting as opposed to YA, but I still really had a great time with it because, you know, nostalgia and all that fancy stuff. But that is what I read a couple weeks ago, so it's been a little bit at this point. But then I did finally buckle down, spend the last couple weeks finishing up The Count of Monte Cristo. It was very good. I had a great time with the book overall. There were a couple aspects to the end of it that I would say I was fairly disappointed with, but I did enjoy the book overall quite a lot, especially the first 300 pages, which I think are just perfection. I will have a review coming out for that book sometime likely in May, but it might not be till June. It depends on how many of the books that I've been reading the last couple months I actually get recorded and, you know, whatnot over the course of this month. That depends. I'm not 100% sure how that's going to go, but it won't be any longer than, say, 2 months, frankly. Like, it'll likely be in about a month and a half that review comes out, just as a random guess. The next thing that I started was 127 Hours Between a Rock and a Hard Place by Aaron Ralston, a book that I have read a couple times before and which I remember highly enjoying. I'm only a few chapters into it so far and have been having a great time with it, but I also started Gregor and the Prophecy of Bane, so the second book in the Underland Chronicles. This has started off a little bit more quick-paced. There's a couple aspects to the character interactions that are a little bit annoying in the way that, you know, in the way that I suppose that middle grade and or YA books can sometimes be, the way that characters can be inclined to argue with each other, just, you know, in the way that preteens or teenagers are inclined to argue with each other. So there's that element in there, but beyond that, I'm actually surprised by the amount of depth there is in the character work in the book so far. I've already gotten a third of the way through that. I don't expect that to take more than a couple days. But as well, something that I decided to do on a whim last night, basically, was start reading a few more poems by Edgar Allan Poe from this beautiful leather-bound collection. I got maybe like through 16 pages worth of the poems over the course of January and maybe February as well. I don't remember for certain when I read all of that, but I did get through another 6 pages of poems last night. Let me go ahead and open the table of contents here and actually list which ones I read. I read Spirits of the Dead, Evening Star, Imitation, Stanzas, A Dream, The Happiest Day, The Happiest Hour, The Lake, 2, blank, a bunch of underscores because there are a lot of his poems that do that. And then A Sonnet to Science. So that was something like 13, I believe, or so poems. Really? Was it that many? No, it was just 8. Okay, I was going to say, I was like, that's not how math works. It was just 8 poems. But of those, I would say about half of those were pretty good. Like, I enjoyed them. There was something to look into and dig into. Not a whole ton of depth that I found. There were a couple of them that I enjoyed quite a bit and would like to go back to because I think there's something there. But then there was one especially, I believe it was A Dream. That one might be my favorite poem so far in the collection that I've read. I just thought it was really, really nice. Just the flow of it, the beauty of the first 3 stanzas were great. I'm not 100% certain I understand how the 4th stanza fits in, but the first 3 I thought were rather beautiful. So that was the reading that I've done over the last couple weeks. And if you were to watch the monthly reading wrap-up and TBR video that comes out in 2 days from this video's publishing, you'll see that, yeah, there was a lot that I read last month, or there's actually a lot that I'm going to be reading this month, or hope to read, depending on how things go. But I believe we have talked about that for long enough in this video. Let's go ahead and move on to the bi-weekly writing. Sorry, let me go ahead and pull up my normal document like I am wont to do over here. Let me first start off the bi-weekly writing section by saying that I did do a blog these last couple weeks that was ranking all of the band Periphery's discography. So everything from P1 all the way to P5, including the 2 EPs intermixed in there and the double album. So a total of 9 records, but or 9 releases, which I put into the categories of 8 because I ranked the double album together. I spent like 25 hours of my life listening to the band in some capacity over the course of 2 or 2.5 weeks. And then I wrote a 4,500 word blog ranking all of them. As you might be able to tell, 4,500 words divided by approximately 9 sections in the blog is, that's upwards of 500 words per section. So I did do a bit of justifying each one of my picks. I hope anybody who is a fan of metal and especially a fan of the band goes and checks that out. I will have a link to that in the description, seasonalproductions.com/blog/every Periphery album ranked, and then in between every Periphery album ranked is a hyphen. So you can just click the link in the description below if that is what you are interested in doing. But then the next thing that I did was I got to continue pre-writing stage 2 of The Reign of Ash just as normal with my projects. I did finish pre-writing Hermit of the Vars, so 3,000 plus words added onto that one. This one will need the most revisions before I move on to pre-writing stage 3, I've noticed, but I did also get to start start pre-writing stage 2 for Veil of Embers. So let me go ahead and full screen this. I believe this is the screen that I would like to be on. Okay, so I'm on stage 2 at the moment. As you'll see, I had already completed all of the Heir of Time and Silent Rain by the time I did the last update. I said that I had already started the first book in Hermit of the Vars. I couldn't remember how far I got into there. Maybe a paragraph or 2, not entirely certain. All I know is that I finished that trilogy, so a little over 3,000 words in there, but I did also get to start Veil of Embers for this process, so I got through all of book 1 before the end of today, and I did get to do act 1 out of 3 for book 2 in this process for this, and you'll see where I have like a little bit of 0.9 here and some words for the last 2 books. That's just because I went through and for each paragraph in each act did 1 sentence, because I figured out that doing this makes even stage 2 go even faster than it already was. So that's just kind of what I'm doing. So I am now at 14,724 words combined in the stage 2. Once you combine that with, stage 1, which was over 7,000 words, that's looking like nearly 22,000 words in the sequence for this process so far. And you'll see some more of the totals over here. Scroll down a bit to let you see this. That's kind of where I am at for the moment. I'm actually really happy with how all of this is going. I'm very excited to continue. I think I could very well finish stage 2 by the end of April. That is definitely the goal, is to have stage 2 completely done by the end of April. I'm not sure if that is what I'll be able to do or if that's how it's going to go, but I definitely hope so. Now let's move on to the coming releases, so the videos that will be coming out over the next 2 weeks. There will be 5 videos this week, as I kind of already hinted at before when it came to recording all the monthly stuff. On April 4th, so this Tuesday, will be my March reading wrap-up and April TBR. Like I said, I have a lot of reading hopes and aspirations for the month of April, so I hope you go check out that video and see what everything else I plan to read over the coming weeks are. On April 6th, I'll do my March book haul video, which will be my last monthly book haul video on the channel, at least for a while. I'll explain more in that video in the very beginning of it, so if you want to check that out and see what's going on there, you can. I'm actually really excited about that book haul, more so than I would say the last couple of them I was. Then on April 8th, so this Saturday, will be the State of Affairs for April of 2023, covering everything in March, so my March wrap-up. Normally I would be inclined to have that posted on Wednesday or Friday maybe, but I decided I would do Saturday because depending on how this weekend goes, because of the change in schedule, I'm not 100% sure if I'll actually be able to get that up at any point over the regular week next week, so I have pushed that to Saturday, just as a precaution. So that will be coming out at the very end of the week. But the next week, on Tuesday, April 11th, I'll have a video that I actually recorded a long time ago. So this one's been up and uploaded for a good long while. A video titled, I Loved and Highly Recommend Sun Eater. What other sci-fi should I try? Where I basically do a full series review of the Sun Eater to an extent. Not really a full series review, just because, the series isn't done yet, but I cover my experience with the series up to this point and, briefly ask for recommendations of other sci-fi that I should try. So people like Words in Time, I'm sure, are going to love that video. I'm going to @ him when that video is posted, because that's going to be one that I'm sure he'll want to comment on. Then on Thursday, April 13th, I'll have a video called How I Determine My TBR and Reading Schedule. So this one I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. It turned out a lot better than I was thinking it was going to. I'm really excited for that one to go up as well, because, I feel like the process that people go into for choosing their next book or their next series or what they're going to read next, how, frequently mood reads affect their TBR and whatnot. I always find that to be a fun kind of discussion, because there are some people who do things totally differently. I know some people with a couple dozen in progress series, for example, while I know a couple other people who never read more than one series at a time. They go back to back to back to back until they're done with the series. So I figured, hey, why not talk about how I determine how I do my reading, especially since a lot of people bug me about when I'm going to read stuff, and if I'm going to read stuff that they want me to read that I don't particularly want to read. But yeah, that video will be coming out next Thursday. I'm very excited about that one. And finally, let's get into the entertainment talk for this week. This one I'm actually rather excited to talk about, because I did finally, over the last fortnight, get my new gaming PC up and running, set up, and do some tests on it. Downloaded all my Steam games and all that stuff, and I ran some tests with some of them, and it is so awesome. I'll tell you what, having some very high-end gear for a PC compared to my current PC, which is, pretty middling. It's got a decent GPU, but the CPU kind of holds it back in ways that causes games to run as if they're unoptimized in a way. So I basically never used it for gaming except for when I had a game that I wanted to play that I just didn't have on console, so like Grime, but even Grime I now have on console. But with the new gaming PC, I will be gaming a little bit more on PC, and whenever games come out that happen to not be on PlayStation, I'm going to get them on PC because I can actually play them that way now, so I'm very excited about that. And furthermore, I did last weekend, so actually a week before this video airs, I recorded 5 episodes of a new Let's Play for Remnant from the Ashes, which is one of my favorite games. The intro video to that is just me because it's the tutorial, so there's no multiplayer until you've passed the tutorial. But then the next 4 episodes after that and everything in that Let's Play to come is going to be with one of my friends as well. And it's not even just going to be my face cam. In fact, we have run it with a Discord call so that both of our cameras are going to be on screen. So if you want to see us talk and interact and kind of shoot the crap together and shoot bad guys with guns and a really great game, like the gameplay of it is so fun, I love it. I'm really excited about that. Not sure when those videos are going to go up, but when they go up, they will go on my second channel. There is a link to that in the description as well. It should be the 3rd link, especially since I do actually still have to get all of my old Let's Plays from 2020, so all those old archive stuff that aren't on this channel any longer uploaded over there. But if you do want to subscribe for when all that stuff starts to come out, I would greatly appreciate it, because here fairly soon, at least once Josh and I get a little bit further in the game, I would absolutely love to get some of our Let's Play uploaded, and we do plan to do some more stuff over the summer, assuming Nintendo Switch Online connection actually decides to work for us, because we did some tests and it might not work how we were planning, just because, yeah, Nintendo's online stuff isn't always great. Either way, we do plan to do a lot of stuff together over on that second channel at King Crusoe VODs if you want to check it out. I hope that anybody who is interested in gaming material, and especially like Let's Plays and discussion videos on games, are willing to go check out that channel. If I do any more critical analysis videos analyzing games, I will continue to post those on this channel, just because that's where all of the ones that I've done so far are, and I don't want to split them up because that causes confusion and all of that crazy whatnot. But all of the other long form content, like I said, Let's Plays and maybe the longer discussion videos and stuff, will go over there. So if you're willing to check that out, again, I would appreciate it. But that brings us to the end of this Fortnight on the Isle. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be back on Tuesday with my reading wrap up and TBR video.